Hey, what's up followers? Dave here from CNC3D. So in this video today, we're going to be taking a look at the advanced router toolpathing mode that you can put CNC3D Design Suite into. So basically this will allow you to do multiple operations on individual shapes. So let's just jump straight in and give this a try. I'm just in CNC3D Design Suite here. I'm just going to click on New Project and Create. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to go up the top here to where you choose the type of job you would like to do. So this is specific to those of you that use it for routing or for using spindle jobs with. So if you just hover over the router section, we're going to go into the user mode option and we're going to change this from simple to advanced. And we can just close out of there now. And so now what you would normally do is we're just going to put a shape down here on our canvas. So we're just going to do this ellipse here. And we're going to go into the toolpath tab. Now what you'll notice is we actually have a list here at the top, which is actually a list of operations. So the default is obviously this 4mm pocket that it wants to do, but we just need to go ahead and select a tool here first. So I'm just going to go in here and choose a 4mm 2-flute straight cut. So we're just going to keep it simple. Now, we're going to just set our depth here to say 6mm, so we're going to give it a little bit of profile. Let's just go 3mm on there. Look, I mean, we're just going to do this theoretically just to show you how it works. But basically, for those of you that have been doing this so far, you'd go through to the 3D job view, and you'd have your 6mm deep pocket that you asked it to be. Now, we want to try to, say for example, I'm going to try to do a chamfering operation where we're going to try to knock this sharp corner off using a 90-degree V carving bit. So to do that, what we'd do is we're just going to click on this existing toolpath and click on New. Now, you'll notice by default is that it's labeled it the same thing, and that's because what it's done is it's actually copied all of the information from the first job that we did. And the reason why it has this warning here is because it's saying that we're going to do a redundant pocket, because technically it's the same job all over again, and we've already cleared this area, so there's no reason to basically do this again. But we're going to make some changes here. So first thing is I'm going to select the tool here. So I'm going to change this to a V carving bit. Just a 90-degree, 10mm. So yes, we'll choose to use that tool's details. Now we're going to go through and we're going to just adjust this. We're going to change this to be a profile on the inside. And you can see here, I'm just going to zoom in a bit, that you can see now, if I just click off here, this orange line represents where that V bit is going to go. So that's our pocket when we select it, and we can see the outline of the V bit. Then when I click on the V bit, you can actually see roughly how it will look if it was to cut at this point. Now, I'm just going to change a few things on here. So obviously the depth on this is 6mm. I'm going to make this 3mm. And look, we can do it in one pass, make it nice and easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this cut offset option down the bottom here. Now, this is the tool that allows you to manipulate where from the shape's boundaries it's going to do things. So if I choose outside the path, if you look, you can see it's gone past the boundary. So the black line represents our shape's boundary. And this, so now I'm just going to drag here just so you can see the actual toolpath moving in and out of that area. So what I want to do is I want to get it so it's just over. So we'll go 1.5mm. Seems to work quite well at a depth of 3mm with that 10mm wide cutter. And that should give us a nice chamfered edge on here straight out of the gate. So if we go into 3D job view now, you'll see that it has gone ahead and knocked that edge off for us. Now, you can obviously choose to make this a little bit less grainy if you go into the options and play with it, but it's designed to give you a good representation of how the job will actually look. So it will essentially knock that off. Now, we're going to go a little bit further with this one. And this was actually requested by another user, so we'll show you how to do it here as well. Say that we wanted to, so I'm just going to click on this top pocket at the top here, and I'm going to click on New. So it's going to copy the one that we already had. Now, what we want to do is we want to actually get it to do another pocket in the middle of this pocket. So in order to do that, we're going to select our cut offset here. And basically what we're going to do first, we're going to leave this as inside the path. We're going to leave it as a pocket. We're going to drag this out so that our pocket will be physically smaller. So say, for example, we want this in here to be, I don't know, say 20mm the difference. Now, we're going to use this Z start offset option here. And the reason why is that we've already hollowed out 6mm in our first pocket. So if I select this one, so it's going to do this order of operations basically from top down, or I should say it's going to do operation 1 first, and then it will choose the smartest option that it will do for the remainder of these ones here. So obviously trying to minimize tool changes first. So it's probably going to do this pocket first, then this pocket because it's the same tool, and then it will get us to switch tools to this one. So it will always choose the smartest way by default in order to do the best order of operations. So we'll just select this one here that we're working on. Now what we want to do is we want to offset for the 6mm height of the first pocket that we did, because everything here still references your original job 0. So I'm just going to go -6. So if we did +6, that would technically be 6mm above the 0 position of the job. So we technically wouldn't be cutting anything, but there might be occasional times when you would want to have offsets like this for any of your toolpaths. Now you can choose to apply these Z-start offsets to any toolpath that you may have, including the first one. So now that we've gone ahead and done this, let's just adjust our depth here to say 3mm, and let's go ahead and preview the job now. So you can see that it has placed this in here. So this pocket is now inside of this pocket, and we have a chamfered edge as well. So that's basically how you can do multiple toolpaths on the one job. Now we've just chosen an ellipse for the purposes of keeping this simple. Of course, you can do this with any shape and it will react the exact same way. So you can basically choose to use the cut offset options down here in order to be able to tell it where to go. So that's how easy it is for you to put it into advanced router mode. Now this will work with, as I said, any shape or any type of job. So for example, if I was to just select this shape, let's just shrink this down a little bit here and move that out of the way. Let's just import a STL here. Oh, that's the wrong one. We want to do the picture import. And all right, so we've got our TV dinner guide just here. Let me expand this out a little bit. So this is a standard STL. So this would be a normal 3D carving. Now we're just going to choose the respective tools for this. Sorry, I accidentally just unticked that over there. So we'll put you in there. And we'll select a tapered ball nose. Now this is how you do 3D carvings in here. I've actually tried to make it really simple for you guys to do these. You can just choose a roughing tool and a finishing tool, and it's basically got all your standard settings here ready to go when you import an STL. You can obviously choose your carve depth as well too. It's really up to you guys, but that's not the purpose of this video. Feel free to have a play with that if you'd like anyway, mind you. So let me just make a new toolpath up here. Now it won't copy the original 3D relief. It will actually make a new one, but it will keep the original tool that it had before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same thing we just did before, and I'm going to choose one of these V carving bits again. So essentially we're going to try to knock the edge off this carve. Now I'm going to use the cut offset tool here, and let's just move that in a little bit. Let's set our depth here to 6mm, and let's just see how that's going to come out. I'm curious to see here. That should probably knock that off that edge. I'm just going to cutting view here. And there you go. You can see exactly what it's done there. So it's going to basically hollow out this edge here on both sides around the edge of the carve. So it doesn't matter what object you actually choose to bring in here. It is always going to follow that additional toolpath if you'd like it. Again, you could go ahead and choose to do like another sort of rectangular pocket in the middle. So if we were to put this in here as a pocket, and we were to say shrink this down into here, and we'll just add a minus, let's do -6mm there, and we go into 3D job view. Let's just see how that looks. It's probably going to burst straight through the center of our 3D carve, but that's exactly what we would be expecting it to do. I think this might be actually the first time I've theoretically overlaid it. Yeah, so, oh, sorry, I left it there as the V bit selected as the tool on that pocket as well. So it's literally just going to essentially wipe out the entire carve with our V bit there. Let's just go back, because that would have done a lot of passes. I'm just going to change this here to one of our 2 flute straight cuts. So this should hopefully be a little bit faster. And if we go into 3D job view now, it should hopefully be a flatter toolpath in the middle there. I'm actually just curious, it should technically preserve his hair across the top here and just wipe out what's in the center. It has. So that's basically how it works, guys, and you kind of get an idea there that you can use it with any toolpath. But I guess I wanted to just show you that it's going to finish the main part of the toolpath first, and then apply any other toolpath below it at that point. Look, I hope this video has been helpful for you guys about how you can use the advanced toolpathing feature within CNC3D Design Suite. So feel free to have some fun, guys, and have a play with this. I'm going to continue to put out awesome new content for you. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll catch up soon.